All right, Lord, let's lock and load, rock and roll. I see an 8 o'clock, you Whitey.
I do too. YouTube should be up, and now I just need to get. Is there a live thing going on over there?
Yeah.
Cancel it, because I can't go live with it still on.
Okay.
Yeah, thought we took care of that already.
Okay.
Cool.
But now I can't see.
It'll go. It'll go back.
Okay.
Why do you need to change it?
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. For some reason, it wasn't registering that this thing was connected. All right. So, we up. Go. Do your thing.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. We're a little late. Yes, you're right. We're not exactly nailing it right at 8. And as you know, those who've stuck around the Brad Stine Has Issues show, you realize that the problem, the glitch, the flaw, was because of Wyatt. Always is. But we're here now. And yet, in the year 200, there was a man by the name Saint Valentinus. He was a special man. During the time when the Roman emperors didn't want men to marry because they thought it would keep them from enlisting into the service. He secretly would marry them because he believed that God wanted human beings, male, female, to be married. He believed it was sacred, it was holy, and it needed to continue, no matter what the tyrannical emperor would say. Well, poor Valentinus was captured, caught, and about to be put to death for disobeying the emperor. And he was asked, before we slit your throat, before we burn you at the stake, is there anything you would like to say? And he simply said, I believe that male and female should marry forever. And I felt it was worthy and important for me to commit to this breach against the emperor in the hope that God would allow my name to continue. And someday, somewhere, centuries from now, my name will be re-remembered, not on some tablet or on some beautiful wall fresco, but on a beautiful little podcast, on a beautiful little Monday night, on a beautiful little February 14th, on a beautiful little Valentine's Day, and on a beautiful little show called Brad Stine Has Issues. Wyatt! Let him know we're here.
Let him know we're here.
Okay.
We can continue with the program now.
Yes, we can
If you're
continue with the
done,
program. So, welcome, everybody. It is God's Comic Brad Stine. And Brad Stine Has Issues, brought to you by Christian Podcast Central, where every possible Christian podcast could ever be centralized is centralized there, so that you can be part of that centralization and thus find numerous podcasts to watch, Christian Podcast Central. And if you're concerned that somebody's going to rip that off the air, fear not, my other sponsor, Glockstore.com, who has all your Glock reparations and continual buying, wholesale or retail, or whatever you are able to wangle with these guys. They're sponsoring too. So
that was kind of an interesting sponsorship.
Yeah.
Bet you're wishing we had set up the teleprompter for this week.
you know what? It would have been nice to have the teleprompter because we have a brand new teleprompter.
Yep.
You know how many times we've used it, Wyatt? Zippo!
Yep, that's right, folks. We got ourselves a brand new, top of the line, as far as I'm aware, teleprompter, a brand new iPad, the app that works for it all. We have everything we need to make it work except for one. The script that I was supposed to add to it. Gee, wonder whose job it is to write that.
Yours?
Oh, yeah. You see, let's see what Nick Kress has to say about that.
That's right. Because number one is Nick Kress. Always at the front of the line. I'm telling you what, this guy must get up at 3 a.m. and log on to this thing and get ready just to push his button. His finger is all shriveled and gnarled by holding it there for hours, waiting to go, me, I'm here.
No. Knowing Chris, he clearly has one of those bots set up. You know the ones you use for Amazon that lets you just buy something the nanosecond it enters, depriving all the other people of, I don't know, what's a popular collector's item nowadays?
Let's see, Wyatt. It wouldn't be lava lamps, would it? Puka shells? Wait a minute. I'm going back to the 70s and the 60s because I actually lived in those decades. Why? You didn't exist then. You still were in my loins, percolating.
Really? How long does that last in the loin area?
I'm really not at liberty to give you that kind of information. And I'm surprised you'd want to delve. You know, I feel like that's a little bit off limits. And I think you'd feel a little uncomfortable bringing that up.
You think so, but after being bombarded with the question day after day, week after week, you'd think at some point I'd just accept.
Why, did you know Amber King's on? She said hi. Yeah. Josh Sipes is here. I've made it again. I like when he says that. It sounds like he was like being shot at. And he was like crawling under barbed wire. And he like crawled into the pit. And he digs out and he goes, I made it again. I'm back. I'm back to Brad Stine Has Issues. I love that. Hey, look, Rebecca Daly Dwyer's here. Hello from Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. She always tells me she's from Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. She never just assumes that after a while we get the gist that she hasn't moved yet. But we're glad she's here. Dusty Wilhelmsville. Hey, Dusty. Josh Sipes is here. Can I have my Netflix back now? Netflix? I don't know. Karen Boyd. Hi, Brett. Hi, White. Hi, all. There she is. Don't you love her? Karen, you should have a date. It's Valentine's. I didn't expect you to be here. I thought you and Benjamin Gregory would be.
Well, I mean, she does have a date. It's the 14th.
Yeah, she's here.
Also, I like how completely you just brushed over the Netflix thing. Like, no witty commentary?
I didn't get it. I got to be honest. I got thrown a curve. I don't get
Okay, so Netflix is this...
I know what Netflix is, but what is it that he wants them back? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Maybe somebody stole his Netflix login or something.
Do you know what Paula Faye Marie Rauchi says? God is love all the time. You saying God never gets angry? Does he ever get upset, or is he always love? And is he love when he's allowing people to do horrible things? He is, I guess, but...
Listen, this is Brad Stine Has Issues, not Brad Stine Has Existential Crisis.
Good point. Barbara Alsup's here. Hi, Brad and Witt from rainy Beaverton, Oregon. That's kind of redundant. You live in Oregon. You don't have to mention the rain. It's a given! Who else is here, Wyatt? Kit Kat Sparrow. Woohoo! She's there. Hey, Brad. Hey, Wyatt. Paul Burrows from Idaho. Barbara Alsup from Valentine's Day. Linda Northswader. Happy Valentine's Day from East Texas. Yay. I'm going to be in Texas in April doing a large tour. I'll be talking about it down the road here with Rick Green. Johnny Olin's here. Stan Stinson. Greetings and salutations, Brad and White. And Awakened Warriors. Amen, brother. We're going to have to get a T-shirt and or hats with Awakened Warriors. What do you think, White?
Yeah, sure. We can do that. So how much money did we put down on that?
I don't know. I was hoping that you could go win it through some sort of accordion lessons.
Accordion. Once again, you're the comedian of this duo, right?
Right.
Yet somehow the best answer you could think of was accordion.
Giving accordion lessons could bring in some extra money so we could afford to get some merch.
Oh, yes. Can't wait to get that lucrative accordion money from the tens and tens of people who would pay for that.
Listen, polka is huge. It's coming back. Matter of fact, they're thinking about using it next year in the Super Bowl halftime show. I won't know because I don't watch the Super Bowl and never will.
And neither will anyone else once that happens.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later. Hey, look, Sook, Vancouver Island, Shanara is here from Pappy Kelly. Good to have you. James Lyons is here. Sean Syriac's there. James Kaler Knox. It's Canada from Texas. Yeah, Barbara Duvall, she's here. Vorst Bainey, he's here. Gregory Clark. Nick is online, but out in your yard. What? Oh, yeah, he could be. Sitting at my computer writing ring down 2,500 different items with prices and descriptions for our new dispatch software. Oh, hi, Nick. That's got to be a tough gig, Wyatt. Let's see. Who else is here? Chari Seibel. Just started recently listening to you and watching your shows. Love listening to a Christian who speaks truth on so many levels. Again, I say redundant, and God bless you, appreciate the compliment, but if you said I appreciate listening to a Christian that speaks lies and libel on a regular basis, at least keep it to yourself.
Well,
does he have to mention I speak truth, Wyatt?
I mean, to be fair, a Christian speaking lies and libel would fill a gap in the market, you know?
Okay.
Isn't that always what you want to go for? You want to go for the thing that nobody else has done before?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
So there's a market for that, I guarantee you.
Yes, it's a big market. It's next to the poultry. Thaddeus Anundson.
Okay.
Hello, Brett. So I just want to say I love listening to you from Oklahoma. It's also great to listen to you live in Eugene, Oregon on Friday, April 24th with Jeff Allen. Oh, okay, cool. That was a while ago. Hey, what's up, guys? That's Stacy Jones. Let's see. Cindy Ledbetter's here. Good to have her. Ace and C. Hicks. I've never seen him. First time watching the show. Going to be late for a date, but a few minutes worth God's going to make worth it. Yeah. Let me tell you something, my friend. If you want a girl that's worth hanging on to, then when you come late and she goes, where were you? You say, watching the Brad Stine Has Issues. And if she doesn't say, my gosh, how could I have doubted you? Get rid of her. Dump her right now and film it so we can play it right here on this clip. Brad Stine Has Issues.
And if she instead says, wait, what?
Yeah.
Then you need to show you need to show them this.
Okay.
I would have forgot who it was. It was the girlfriend of the boyfriend. So
Oh, nice. Well, listen, Louis Leon is here. Tim Rosa Sr. is watching from Missouri. Dwayne Brotfield said, I will donate $10 to hear Wyatt play accordion.
Honestly, I would pay $10 to see me play accordion because that would mean I'd have an accordion.
Oh, yeah.
And $10.
Well, accordion to you. Let me say something.
Let's go back to
Okay,
reading people.
Save
the comedy to the professionals.
Let me tell you something. Jerry Tackett said, Brother Brad, you're a living proof that joke does not have to be dirty to be funny. You're an awesome dude. Why? How can you argue with that?
I was reading that, and I accidentally skipped some lines, so it made it seem like he said, you're a living proof that a joke does not have to be funny.
That'd be a great heckle line if you went to a comedy show, live comedy show. Listen, folks, if you haven't noticed something different about today's broadcast, for those who've been here from the get-go, you used to see me sit in front of my little laptop, and now you are watching those who jumped on today. You see a real camera with a real mic and a real lights and real headphones, which I've never worn until today. Why am I wearing headphones, White? Tell me why I'm wearing them, and don't say it's just because you think it enhances my bone structure. That's what he was saying before. I said, do I need these? He goes, Dad, it enhances your bone structure. I thought that was odd. Wyatt, tell me, is that really why you thought I needed these?
It's a good alternative source of calcium.
Oh.
Okay? The vibrations of the sound waves in your ear stimulates bone marrow growth in the inner ear, which the nutrients, since it doesn't need them there, gets transported to the rest of your body.
Wow.
Follow me for some more completely not made up medical facts.
Wow. See, so if you're still hesitant on the elixir, the magical vaccine, you know where to go to get your insight. This guy has all the insight you need to know. It's my son Wyatt. Mm-hmm. Yes, he works at Lowe's. Yes, he's good at wrenches and he's expertise in Phillips screwdrivers. But that doesn't mean he can't tell you what to inject in your body at a regular intervals.
That's right. It's like I always say every single time. I am not held responsible for any damage that happens from any advice I give.
There you go. So there you have it.
It's basically my catchphrase, honestly.
Another 25-year-old wuss that doesn't want to take responsibility for the mess he got us all into. Well, listen, Wyatt, we're not done. We're just getting started. But in order to do that, we have to take a quick synopsis for the few of those people out there who perhaps are watching for the first time. This is called Brad Stine Has Issues. What it is comedy, conservatism, Christianity, and what's the other thing?
I don't know. It's your catchphrase you keep trying to push on people.
Wait,
you can't
comedy, Christianity, conservatism, collides in a cacophony of clarity. Anyways, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to talk about real things, real issues, speak truth to power at all times, but also have some fun. And most people who come on the show for the first time only know me as a comic, and they think I'm going to just be funny. And God knows I try, and sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. That's the swing and a miss that comes with doing stand-up comedy. But I thought we should open up the show before we get into the serious stuff that brings a lot of you into weeping and gnashing your teeth, as well as intestinal distress. It is Valentine's Day, and for those of you out there who perhaps are looking to find your significant other. Maybe you're single out there alone tonight. Don't worry. So am I. I'm married, but she's not with me. And Wyatt, what about your girlfriend? What's her name?
Very funny.
He doesn't have a girlfriend. Listen, if you had a girlfriend, what would her name be?
What kind of a question
What
is
would
that?
you like it to be? Let's say you were prophesying the name of your...
Okay, if I was to
Yeah.
prophesy
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah. What would you call it?
Oh
Come
gosh.
on. Come on.
So, like, are you asking me, like, what name I would...
Come
Are you asking me, like, what name you would want me?
Yeah, what name would you like it? A girl's name you think is pretty that you would like?
I've always liked the name Vivian.
Oh,
Always liked that one.
that is cool.
Yeah.
Wyatt. Vivian, that's kind of old school. You know Vivian Vance. You know who she was? She was the next door neighbor of Lucille Ball during the most famous sitcom in history that really created sitcoms, I Love Lucy. And the name of Ethel, who was the name of Lucy's, and this is way before your time, her real name was Vivian Vance. That was the name of the actress. So then that's from a long time ago. Well, listen, folks, I'm going to play a clip to you of me doing a joke I did years ago about Valentine's. I thought this might be a perfect time to bring it back and to laugh just a bit, hopefully, about the fact that women seem to get all the breaks at Valentine's because none of Valentine's is for men. Hit it, Wyatt. Bless them, but ladies, don't feel left out. God gave you a holiday as well. Who would forget the fairer sex? He gave you that special holiday that's just for you. You call it the holiday of romance. We call it the holiday of extortion. Look at that. There's not even a punchline. Every guy's going, oh, Valentine's. Why? Because everything they tell you to buy for Valentine's is for girls. Nothing wrong with the girls. We don't get anything. We certainly don't get jack for the 4th of July. I want an engine block next 4th of July. That's what I want. I want a Glock, 2 clips, hollow points. That's what I'm looking for. Heck, 4th of July, at least we give you a hot dog. We don't get nothing. Unbelievable. What do they tell you to buy? Cards, candy, flowers, diamonds. Every year, diamonds. What are you, pirates? It's another year. I want more diamonds. Arr! Unbelievable. And it's such a girl holiday. And there's really, frankly, a man couldn't participate properly in Valentine's because we don't get it. Cards. Guys don't care about cards. I'm going to save you a trip to the Hallmark store, ladies. Don't buy us cards. We don't want cards. We don't need cards. We don't like cards. We don't even read cards. The only reason we even open cards is to see if there's money inside. I'm telling you. Take the paper, fold in half, stick a 50 inside. We're good. Unbelievable. Women actually read the cards. And they're moved. I was thinking of you today on this special... It means you're thinking about me on this, like we wrote it. This has been the hardest time for us all these years, giving you a card without cracking up. Honey, this was what I was going to write, but it was already printed there. By some other guy. From Korea. They read it. I was thinking of you, and they just get so, it's just... What it means is you took a special time to pick out just the right card just for me. You know me so well. Here's how we pick out cards. They're all the same to us. in my clip from last week. So there you have it. That's what it can look like. That's what it can feel like. That's what it is like when you are a man and you realize that Valentine's Day is really there simply to take whatever it can and give to the gal. And you know what? What's wrong with that? There really isn't. You know, if you haven't learned one thing about comedy in sitcoms and television, it usually is the man's the buffoon, the woman is the one that deserves all the special accolades because she's special. Now, have you ever noticed that men don't complain often about that? They kind of accept that role. They allow you to joke with them, make fun of them, put them down because they love women. They do love ladies. And we want to give you the right, the freedom to make fun of us, to joke about us, to make us the butt of the joke. We don't care because we love you, and we are strong, and we are okay, and we're okay in our own skin. We're okay with other guys talking about guy stuff. And so for us to kind of laugh and find some continuity in how women are crazy in our opinion, just like we are to you, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. Listen, if men and women were exactly the same, we wouldn't need each other. The beautiful thing about men and women, male, female, the beautiful thing about why gender is specific and unique and isolated is that you can't become one without each other. This is the grand irony. The grand irony for anyone who would ever say to you, well, you know, gender is just created. It's not actually part of the human experience. There is no really feminine way of doing things or a male way of doing things. And that's certainly not true. And anybody who's ever had children with male and female, no, that's not true. And if anybody who's ever grown up as a man or as a woman, no, it's not true. And any of the thousands of years of human history and the romantic novels that have been written, we all know that men and women are totally, completely, and utterly different. Sure, we have some similarities. Is there some crossover? Are there men that have some feminine traits? Of course. Are there women that have masculine traits? Yeah, they were called tomboys. Yes, that's fine. That's okay. But the reason we had a tomboy was because there was such a thing as masculine traits because there was such a thing as masculine. Well, there was such a thing as feminine traits because there was such a thing as feminine, as in female, as in woman, as in gender. So those aren't complicated. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And the great thing that I try to show people when they hate facts because their feelings are what drive them is, you know, it's all socially, culturally constructed, and, you know, you can just say whatever you are, whatever gender you are. And yet I would always say to them, whoever has that opinion, whoever has that point of view, whoever decides that male and female can just be interchanged and you can speak whatever you are and you become that thing, the one thing that's unique about whoever those people are that live by that ideology, this is one thing for sure I can prove. You exist because a male and a female got together and had sex. Every single person that has ever questioned whether male and female is actually real got pregnant because a male impregnated a female, and only a female can actually have one of those types of people, those human beings that come from their womb. So heterosexuals make them all. They make all the people. And what those people become after that, that's their freedom. That's their free agency. But free agency matters. I've said this to you before because God thought it mattered. God Almighty said, I'm going to give you the freedom to not even believe I exist. I'm going to give you the freedom to look at the amazing creation and realize that this is here by accident. I'm going to let you live like a buffoon if you want to. I don't care. That's how free I want you to be. I want you to be able to use the logic and reason I gave you to clearly realize that something made this great thing and you can come find it because it's going to give you the balance and the proof that you need to know that life has meaning. Now, I'm bringing that up because it's Valentine's and we're speaking about male-female, but it also brings up a point I wanted to bring up to you guys about things I've been saying on this podcast week after week after week after week, and that was this. I said it a few weeks ago. One way you can truly know if you believe something is, are you willing to die for it? That's one of the ways you'll know that you believe something. I will die for this idea. That's something you're committed to. That's something you will not compromise. That's something you will not give away. Now, I've said this to you many times. That's a way to evaluate something that's deep to you. A religious conviction, that conviction of this truth is so important that it's worthy of my life as opposed to me denying it. Now, why do I say that? Because in order for you to reach that point, and maybe you have it, maybe you're at a place in your life where it's like, I don't really have anything that I would die for. I don't really know that I found anything that's so important to me that it's more important than existence. And you don't know how to get to that place. And who really knows if they would get to that place until they're there and suddenly the gun's at your face saying, deny this or I'm going to shoot you. That's when you really know. When the rubber meets the road. But I wanted to say to you that one of the biggest sports highlights in the world, apparently, happens once a year, and it happened yesterday. It's called the Super Bowl. Now, it's something where people get together from all over the place. They have their chicken wings, they have their beer or their wine or their Coke or whatever you drink, and they all get together and they watch the game, and they can't wait to see what the commercials are going to look like, and they can't wait for the big old Super Bowl halftime show. And it's become this sort of religious event. I didn't know who was going to be in the Super Bowl. I actually kind of had to fall into finding it out. You know why? I don't watch football anymore. The moment that the NFL decided to try to take money from fans who simply wanted to root for their team, support a Marxist organization run by people who said they were Marxists, who extorted millions of dollars from them, and they willingly gave it away to make themselves look good, I left. I said, I will never, look at me, I'm watching you in the face. I will never watch an NFL game again for the rest of my life. To me, it is no forgiveness. You're gone. I will not have somebody hate America while they make money off it. I will not have somebody disparage America and call it evil and racist while they spew racism at me and my children in school. I will not spend money and pay one dime to an advertiser that would advertise on a group of people who states that America is systemically racist and evil, and it's baked into the culture, and the only way we can fix that is being racist towards white people. I'm not going to follow anybody like that because I hate racism, period. I hate it, period. Because I believe in the God that said we're all made in his image, and that we're all from the same family of the creator of the all things, which makes us all equal, and he made us in different colors, shapes, and sizes like he did everything else that exists in the universe. I talk to you guys who are new to this and go, oh, I didn't know he's going to talk about religion. I'm not. I'm talking about something that actually claims to be the rule book for the way the world actually works, and proof that you can actually see how people behave and break apart what's actually happening in real time, so you can expose the darkness, expel that from this carcass and stick light back in there and turn it into something beautiful and healing. So I told you guys, I'm not watching NFL, and I didn't. And I will not watch the Super Bowl. I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not bowing a knee to this. How soon are we going to forget how they treated America and the flag in our national anthem? When sports was designed to be one thing we could all just watch, root on a team, and all be one. And they screwed it up because left screws up every stinking thing it touches. So I didn't watch it. I will never watch it again. I will never watch another NBA game. And I grew up watching the Lakers and the Celtics dynasty. And I was a Laker fan. My dad was a Celtics fan. He loved Larry Bird because we're from Indiana. Larry Bird's from Indiana. Great player. Great basketball back then. I'll never watch it again. I'll never watch it again. My point is, I took a stand for something. I cannot pretend that, oh, it's all going to go away. This is exactly what's going to happen in America. They're going to treat you like less than, like an other. They're going to treat you like a racist if you don't act a certain way. When you're not, it's a lie. And then they're going to, down the road, realize, ooh, people are not paying money to come see us anymore. Maybe let's just forget about it. And they'll forget. And they'll jump right back in because they're forgiving. They don't care. They'll forget. Some things shouldn't be forgotten. Sometimes there needs to be a price to pay for hatred. So I didn't watch the game. I don't care. It's football. I don't care. I don't care who won. Don't care. Then I come across this wide receiver who was I think he was a wide receiver. I don't watch, like I said. Christian guy, who played for the Rams. Now, when I was a professional magician back in the 80s in California, the Rams were still in California. And one of the running backs for the Rams at that time was a guy by the name of Eric Dickerson, who actually has still the single season rushing record for the most rushing yards in one season. He came in, I performed magic for him, and I stole his watch right off his wrist because I used to do pickpocketing material when I did my magic. And so I stole his watch and gave it back to him miraculously. So I remember the Rams. I wanted to root for the Rams when they were in Los Angeles because I was a Dodger fan and was, since I was 3. My father gave me the Dodgers. That's what sports are supposed to do, something you pass on from generation to generation. And they ruined it. And I want to ask you guys who are watching me, and some of you, I don't have to ask the question, but some of you, I do want to ask you to ask yourself, have you gone ahead and said, I'll watch anyways? Why? Why don't you care how they treated our national anthem? Then I went to find out, and again, just kind of trying to get a sense of what happened so I could talk about it, that Eminem, the one white guy, kneeled during his halftime performance. Again, if you watched it, you paid for that. You invested in that. You gave your approval of that. I'm not going to do it. We have to decide what can't be compromised. What can't be compromised. I suppose it's possible if the NFL's commissioner said, folks, we were trying to be sensitive to racism, but in doing that, we were disrespectful to our national anthem, to our flag, and to Americans who were hardworking and didn't want that. We want to apologize. We ask for forgiveness. We are a private business. We are not going to let anybody disrespect our flags or our country anymore. Afterwards, they want to get off and leave their game and go out into the public and do whatever they want and say what they want. I'm all for them. That's freedom. That's freedom. Do it. What you do. Not there. Not when you're supposed to be someone working for an owner of this team any more than you're supposed to be going out parading, some sort of anti-American sentiment in any business. I mean, there's decorum that is expected that we don't allow anybody else to do. And the lies that took place as these Canadian truckers were literally told that they were homophobic and they were racist and they were white supremacists by their prime minister, a full-blown, cancerous, pathetic, sociopathic. I don't even know how to say it. What?
You're just that seething mad?
I'm that
you just
seething
forgot
mad.
how words work?
I know how they work. I just didn't
No, I
know they were
didn't
going to be
use
that
them right.
challenging. This guy completely annihilated these people who just simply said, we're not going to be told what to inject in our body. But the same guy, Trudeau, said, support Black Lives Matter. You go bust windows. You go burn things up. You go beat people with the head over with bicycle locks because that's a good cause. And it's a peaceful protest. Listen, everybody is dropping mandates. London, England has dropped the mandates. No back. I know a guy there that wanted to bring me in. I told you this last week. Wanted to bring me in and perform there and do a whole series there. The vaccine mandate's gone, masks gone. Lots of 3 or 4 different countries have gotten rid of it. Now, some of the blue state governors are saying, oh, the science has changed. You liar. You see that nobody wants what you have. We are sick of your vomit that you have given to us to destroy this nation. We're on to you. We're not going to forgive what you did. We're not doing it. Doesn't mean you don't forgive humans. I will not forgive what you did. You must be voted out of office. You must cease to exist as a party. You are pure, absolute, pure corruption. And by the way, a lot of Republicans are too. We now see that the Clinton campaign actually paid people to go in and bug Trump Towers and try to get a line on Trump so they could try to push this Russian narrative. It's now been proven. Media's not talking about it. That isn't just corruption, folks. That is pure propaganda. pure propaganda. We're not America anymore, guys. It's already happened. You can't trust anybody. You can't trust. There's nobody you can look to and say they're giving us information so we can mobilize, because that's the biggest thing. I've said this to you before. What good is the Second Amendment if you can't mobilize people to defend yourselves? If you try to talk to each other and say, let's all get together and go cover this segment of the city and defend ourselves, and they just take it down. How do you do it? What do you do? What do you do when technology says we are for the leftist too? We're capitalists. We're making billions, but we're going to push leftist agenda. What do you do with that type of human being? How do you learn to not buy their product? How do you learn to watch them crumble from the inside out? How do you learn how to survive when you're watching China literally starting to take over the world? That's really their mission. And we have people like General Milley who's assisting them. Traitor, treason. What do you do? What do you do? Last week I talked to you about Joe Rogan, because everybody was talking about Joe Rogan. They're talking about the fact that he had two doctors on who said that something's wrong with these vaccines, something's wrong with the way that the science has been done. It's been politicized. It's not actual good science. That's what they said. That's all they said. Now listen, you didn't have to agree with them. But it was interesting to hear the point of view and try to understand what they were getting at. Then someone compiled a bunch of opportunities where he was within the midst of hundreds and hundreds of these podcasts, used the N-word. But I said something to you guys last week that I hope you haven't forgotten. And if you weren't there last week, listen carefully today. My people, Christians, have been trained in the church for the most part, but this applies to everybody. Unfortunately, they've been oftentimes trained to gauge content instead of context. And context is all that matters. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to mean? What are you trying to explain? What are you trying to navigate so we can understand this and communicate together and see if we can get a more cohesive reality so we can all understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. That's what it used to be, to have an actual reasonable, deeply robust conversation. It's what's gone in America. It's gone in the world. It's what the left does. They destroy all ideas that differ from them. That's why it's so evil. It's so evil. So I said to you guys that content is not as important as context, because every one of the clips from Joe Rogan where he used the N-word was him repeating lyrics from a song or something that Richard Pryor or some black comic had said. He was just repeating the words they used, and they clipped it out together and looked like he was just saying it maliciously, and it wasn't true. Again, a lie. Again, they wanted him off the air. Again, why? Because he brings people on that proves these people are absolutely corrupt. They are absolutely out for one idea: to control and rule you and me. To rule us. Because they hold this sacred thing called truth, and they bury it. They hide it. They seal it up. Nothing is more dangerous to the left than the idea of truth. It's, again, what Christianity is so unique. It's why it created the West as we know it. Because it stood by this one idea: truth is sacrosanct. It's not only can you die for truth, you must be willing to die for truth. There's a couple black commentators that I listen to, Glenn Lowry and John McWhorter, and I don't think they're right-leaning by any stretch of imagination, but they're truth tellers, and they observe their own community. And I watched a small segment of them talking about Joe Rogan, but also the N-word and the context by which this situation had been applied. And I want to show it to you right now because I want to show you that when I told you last week the difference between content and context. I'm just a comic. I'm just a regular guy. I want to show you that regular people actually have information that is just as legitimate as the intellectuals out there who are given accolades for saying the very things I am. Am I doing this to say, aren't I as smart as these guys? No, I'm doing this to say we all, if we're willing to see the truth for what it is, can actually have access to it and maybe change the world. So, Wyatt, I want you to show that clip of Glenn Lowry and John McWhorter, talking about how to see this idea of the N-word and how the black community has even become crippled by a misuse of a word that really doesn't deserve the power it's given. Why can you show that?
But I have an observation. Do you know this book by James Scott, the Yale political scientist, called Weapons of the Weak? It's a study of how it is that dominated peoples can fight back surreptitiously. I mean, I think this policing of the spoken sounds, nigger, and saying you can't say that is a pathetic expression of weakness. It's petulant. It's like grabbing the microphone from a speaker whose arguments you just can't bear to hear. There's no power in it whatsoever. There's no real power. There's no wealth in it. There's no entrepreneurship in it. There's no educational mastery in it. There's no fixing any broken family in it. There's no solving a crime problem in it. All it is throwing a tantrum. I'm weak. I'm black. You said the N-word. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's pathetic.
It is. It's performed delicacy. And there's been such an uptick in that on that word over the past about 15 years. And I just don't get how anybody can say they're a strong person, engage in that performance of allowing white people that power. People are going to keep on uttering it for various reasons. And we've got this popular music that's full of it. And you decide that anytime you hear this word said by anybody but a black man from the street, you're going to, go crawling into a corner. It's a performance. It's not real. Nobody cognitively whole truly feels that way. It's something that black people teach each other, and it really needs to stop. There are other, as you're saying, we have other things to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're going to conclude here. I just want to reiterate something you said earlier, which is we are not talking about the use of the word as a slur, where you call someone an Nigger, like you call them a Kike, or you call them an SPIC, or you call them an MICK. We're not saying it.
Yeah, and there's
we're not approving of the use of the word in that way.
And the damnedest thing is that there's a kind of person who will listen to what you and I are saying and say that they're condoning the use of the N-word. They're condoning the use of the N-word, actually pretending to think that that's what we're saying. God, that one makes me sick. You shouldn't have to say what you just said. But their idea is it's more this idea of not realizing that your view isn't the only one. Their idea is that it's absolutely certain and, just beyond any kind of conversation that to utter those sounds in sequence is always wrong. There can be no questioning of that. So everything we just said is condoning the use of the N-word. No, we're talking about there being a difference that one must attend to. And anybody who pretends that what we're doing here is condoning people walking around calling each other, is condoning a white person calling us that, is feigning stupidity out of some sense that there's some sort of beauty in that moral pose. Black people should not be taught to feign being stupid. And that is what's going on with this new conception of the N-word. It's one of this self-imposed dumbness on that truly dismays me.
Perform delicacy. We ought to put that one in the dictionary.
Let's keep that.
So I just found that fascinating because, unfortunately, we're finding ourselves in a time in history where only certain people can speak about certain things. Now, one of the things that the idea of critical race theory does is it silences white talk, white speak. If you happen to have lighter colored skin, somehow you're not allowed to engage in this. Now, this isn't unprecedented. I've heard over time when it came to the abortion debate that I've heard women say, listen, you don't have a womb, you don't have a uterus, so you don't get to speak. It's like, well, what does that have to do with having the ability to assess a scenario and make a commentary on it? And if we're talking about a human being inside of that womb, a man put it there. Sorry, it's half mine. Yeah, I get to speak. What if a man did? What if I didn't put it there, but another man did? Still get to speak because I'm part of the human race. See, this is what I keep trying to help people understand. Conservatism, Christian thought, allows everybody access to ideas. This is what I'm saying. If you're a leftist, you're a bigot. It's so ironic that you have been trained to teach yourself that you're the only one that's not bigoted by calling people bigots when in fact you're the bigot. It's absurd. And it doesn't matter how many times we tell you, you're the intolerant ones, but you say that we're intolerant. You're the bigots, but you could, and I've said this to you guys before in podcasts, whoever claims to defame somebody else first somehow becomes immune from the same retribution. Not true. I can see through it. I see what is real. This is why I said if you believe that that the NFL had disgraced this nation and doesn't deserve your support, I was serious. Never go back. You shouldn't have watched yesterday. This is the problem. Apathy is going to kill us. Don't talk to me on 4th of July and wave your flag and talk about, oh, I love America. No, you don't, because when we really need you to suck it up and not go see these ridiculous woke tech groups, you do. You're not dependable. You're not trustworthy. You're not honorable. You're not virtuous. You're not courageous. You have compromised. Well, it's just a football game. Who cares? It's just no, it matters. That's what they're hoping for. That's what they're banking on. That you won't care. You'll let them treat you, your history, maybe you've had loved ones who died in wars for this great nation, and they're counting on you not to care and just to go right back in as though nothing happened. Nonsense! And I'm equating that to these mandates. It's why I never wore a stinking mask, except on a plane, only because I couldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't let me do it, and I couldn't work. I literally would have gone bankrupt. Yeah, I get it below my nose and leave it there until they make me put it back up. I do everything I can to sneak around so I can breathe. It's why I refused the elixir. I had it. I've got the best kind of immunization. I don't want anything else. That's how I want to live my life. That's all I want to do. And here's what I want to know. We've learned so much during this pandemic about who is cowardly, who's not. Who would be the people that would turn over the Jews, who wouldn't? You know, the people that shamed you because you weren't loving your neighbor by not putting on your mask. And I love it when they did that in the name of Jesus. All the churches said, love your neighbor, put on your mask. You got to be kidding me. You were the ones that were utilized by the Third Reich in Germany churches to get the people to succumb. You're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment. If you wanted to say, put on a mask if you want, we're happy to let you come and worship with or without it, that's fine. That would have made sense. That would have been Christian. But to say you're not a believer because you haven't done a particular point of view based on something that you, in no way is the Bible demanding. There's no specific, absolute Christian doctrine that is indisputable when it comes to these particular ideas. And you claim it's some sort of edict from heaven? And you're claiming God would have said this? You're claiming God would have said this? You better be very careful when you start saying God would have said this. He takes it seriously because he knows what he said. You know, what happened? What happened to these blue states that are suddenly allowing everybody to take off their masks and not have to get it? Even I heard Toronto or Ontario, I think, are going to scale back and not make the truckers have forced vaccines. It made a dent. They changed something. They took back their freedom, folks. They didn't go to the game. By the way, where's Fauci? Where's Fauci? With all this happening, for the last 2 years, this man literally told the human race how they could survive only by his particular insights. And now that we are watching more and more and more of data pouring in that the lockdowns, this has been already proven, the lockdowns didn't work. They saved the lives of somebody at like 0.2%. They didn't work. They destroyed people's lives, livelihoods, dignity, freedom, mental health, but they didn't keep people from dying. The mask didn't work. This is all proven now. Those of us who said 2 years ago, I'm not in, maybe you might want to join us, we're right. We were right. We were the idiots. We were made fun of. We were put down. We were said we weren't loving. We weren't Jesus. We were the ones that hated our neighbor. You were the wrong side of history. But hey, we'll just all forget. Oh, who cares? No, because now I know I can't trust you. I can't trust you. When I need you and all the other folks need to know that you'll be there with us when the totalitarians try to take over. I ain't trusting you. You've proven I ain't going to do it. Crap, I won't even not wear a mask. You think I'm going to get a gun? Where's Fauci? See, we've learned so much. One thing we learned is that the experts aren't. Fauci is the most ridiculous guy. This clown that told us how to live our lives was wrong at every turn. I didn't know you could get paid that much to be wrong that many times and not at least be a weatherman. Okay? So here's the thing. There has to be a cost. This guy paid for gain-of-function research, lied about in Congress. Why isn't he in jail? Why wouldn't he be put in jail for lying to Congress? So at least we should have some way to let him be remembered through the ages. So I say from this day forward, whenever there's a person that claims to know everything or believes that they have better insight than you, are wrong all the time, but it act as though it shouldn't be noticed, we're going to say that you Fauci'd things up. That's the new way we're going to talk now. Yeah, climate change, it's going to be freezing in the 80s. Didn't happen. Going to get super hot in the 90s. Didn't happen. You Fauci'd that up, didn't you? Hey, we all wear second mask, third mask, fourth mask, 5 boosts, 6 boosts, 7 boosts. Oh, wait, I guess you don't need any at all. Hey, give them to the kids. Oh, it's starting to cause heart disease? Maybe the kids shouldn't have it. You Fauci'd that one up, didn't you? Well, you quit Fauci'ing with us and leave us alone. I can't believe what's happened to what has happened to America. I can't keep up with the crazy. I need you people. Listen, this is a small podcast. It's growing, but it's small. It's small. But it's going to blow up. You know what's going to blow up? Because I will not be silenced until they just take me off there. Then I'll find somewhere else. You know why? Because I believe God Almighty said, you're going to say these things. You're going to do these things. I'm going to be out on tour, live events, lifting up God and country with Rick Green on biblical citizenship throughout this nation. I'm going to be with my friend Jonathan Chiliafaro. We're going to be doing the Spirit of America tour with opera and me doing comedy and talking about this great nation. I'm going to be doing things out there in the live events for lifting up fundraising for pregnancy resource centers or for Christian schools or for conservative groups that are trying to remember America and fight back against the tyranny of the Marxist nonsense that is critical race theory that is destroying our country and our kids. I am not going away. I needed you to be with me. And the masks and the Super Bowl says to me, who can I trust? It's a narrow gate. Many are called. Everybody's watching the right conservative group. Everybody's watching the right politician, the right channel, the right faith. They're all doing the right thing, saying the right word, putting up the right flag, hanging the right banner, marching in the right march. But boy, when it comes time to have to pay a price, we'll watch the Super Bowl. Who gives a crap? It matters. Every one of those little tiny ideas matter. Every one of those little nuances matter because it's the culmination of those people that can count on us to continue to pay our money to hate this nation until there is no nation left, till China does in fact run this nation. And then when the few stinking people that were clouded up said, you know, maybe I should have jumped in. Maybe I should have helped. Too late now. And all the leftists that want this country, and they do, like an Andrea Cortez, she wants this country to be destroyed because she thinks it's evil. And she thinks she'll be rewarded. No. No, you'll just be a useful tool that will be quickly discarded because they eat their own. They just want power, and you ain't in. You're just a useful idiot. I love what McWhorter said in Glenn Lowry. A taboo sequence of sounds. Why does that matter? I don't think, I'm serious. I'm just being honest. You know, guys, I'm always honest on my podcast. This is the place where I talk to my friends and be just me. Not the comedian, not the actor, not the writer, not the magician, whatever you think I am. This is me, Brad Stine, American, Christian, conservative. Okay? I don't think, I don't think I have ever called anybody the N-word in my life. I can't imagine that I ever did. I wasn't raised that I was allowed to do that, by the way. It's not part of my vernacular, not part of my syntax, not part of my nomenclature, and it certainly isn't something I would say. But guess what? I want the right to be able to use the word and say the word because I believe what he said was more important. He said that the black culture is taught to feign stupidity, to act weak in victimhood, and they think somehow they're getting power by saying, you don't get to say that word, only we get to say the word. Think about the psychology behind that. You white people don't get to say it because it was used against us to degrade us. We get to say it about ourselves, and they think they've arrived. I can't say something to him because I'm the white guy. But see what I'm saying? Why am I bringing this up? Because a human being shouldn't give a crap I'm white or black. Truth should cut through all that nonsense. Cut to the heart, which is all the same color. Yeah, it's colorblind. Yeah, Christianity is true because it's actually what actually happened at the beginning of the universe and how it's all going to end. It's true because it exposes the fact that we can actually get along if we actually saw ourselves as made in the image of God. Guess what? We all fit that category. He called it a taboo sequence of sounds. It is. It's a sound that they said, you know, I'm going to allow it to mean something to me. Now, listen, I'm not saying there are not malicious words or words designed to harm people, to hurt people. Of course they exist. But the truth of the matter is, if you call me a word and I say, I don't care, I literally don't care what you think about me, those words suddenly have no power. And you are given them power by saying you can't say that word. You're actually saying the word is so powerful that if it comes out of your mouth, I can't do anything about it. It weakens me. It cripples me. They are given a power it doesn't deserve. This is a human being talking to other human beings. Do you understand me? If you see me as the white guy saying this and say I'm racist for bringing up truth, you are the problem. I want to fix things. I want to heal things. Let me ask you a question. Show me a victim in human history that got healthier by claiming victimhood. Show me the progress by claiming to be a victim. Show me where victimhood has ever accelerated somebody into a higher plane of existence. It degrades you. It destroys you. It steals your dignity. It steals your spine. It stills your soul. Rogan didn't back down. He said, hey, made me look stupid by putting all those words together. Wish I hadn't said it. I did. I guess he took some of the podcast down. I think it was cowardly to do that. I can't stand it, but he did. It's his business. But he's not canceled. Because when you stand up to these people and you say, we're not going anywhere, they can't do a thing about it. They can sit there in their governor's mansions in Canada and say, I'm going to destroy you and take your license and you're not going to be able to travel and I'm going to put you in prison. And we say, try it. Find somebody that's willing to start shooting us in the head. Good luck. And guess what you find out? These whimpering, weak children hide because they're seen as pathetic. And yeah, there's some pathetic human beings in this earth. There's some pathetic, weak, cowardly, horrible human beings on this earth. God loves them too. Isn't that ridiculous? Mm-hmm. That's why Christianity is true. God loves everybody. No other religion teaches that. It's ridiculous. Well, listen, folks. We can do this as a nation. And I know I get some people now and again that watch from other parts of the world. I want to inspire them too. Hey, Europe, you dropped your mandates before we did. Australia, you're gone. Canada, you finally stood up and did some amazing things. Hopefully Trudeau will be kicked out on his ear and all this leftist nonsense will be thrown. Put them all back in Quebec where they belong and they can go fight each other there because they've been fighting Canada for years. Australia, I don't know what to do. New Zealand, I don't know what to do with you all. But the rest of us are coming to our senses. The rest of us apparently are going to fight back against this New World Order, who are going to say you elitists aren't going to, you cannot, I don't care how rich you are, and I know you can make a phone call and have me wiped out, but if we all mobilize and say we're not going to be pushed aside, you can't beat us. You can't beat the whole wide world. So if you believe in what I'm doing and you want to give, I'm going to start building a little subscriber thing. Just it's going to be cheap. I think I'm going to probably make it like $3 a month or something. Just something so cheap. It just allows me to have the equipment, bring on the guests, do the things I want to do. If you believe in that, and if you want to give and donate, just let me know, and I will send you a link, and you can do it. And I have a box of How to Think Right books that I found. It's actually a reprinting of the book Live from Middle America, Rants from a Red State Comedian. I already sent one out to somebody who bought one last week, but I will sign it to you and I will ship it to you. It's $50, not worth it, but it's a donation. It's a tax write-off. I'm a 501c3. So, and I will just tell me I'm in. I'll send you a link. $50. I'll sign it to you. I'll send you. Once they're gone, they're gone. There might be 30. I don't know. Wyatt, what do you think? You have anything to say?
No, you basically summed it all up.
He says that because he never has anything to say. I always have to prime the pump with this guy.
Well, to be fair, I am more of the reactionary member of this group.
True.
I'm not the one writing scripts for this. I'm the one you go to when you need a funny quip here or there, and also to make sure that, you know, people can hear the podcast, see the podcast.
Hey, could you understand how well you can hear
videos.
today? We figured out what was wrong with the mic, and we flipped a switch, and believe it or not, it was just a switch, and you can now hear me again. Well done, son.
Yeah, noise gates. You gotta hate
Noisy.
them. I mean, love them. You gotta
Well,
love
listen,
them, right?
today is Valentine's Day. If you have a special loved one, I hope they're there. I hope you give them a kiss and a hug. I've got a special little last-minute clip I want to show you. It's something I did a couple years ago with a Saturday Night Live a friend. She was on Saturday Night Live for a few years, and her name is Victoria Jackson and her husband. And it's my counseling as playing a hippie counselor, and I want to give this, guys, to you as something fun to close out the night. Again, if you believe in what I'm doing, you want to give, just say I'd love to donate. I'll give you a link and we can get the things rolling. But we're still moving, we're still growing. I want to wish you happy Valentine's Day. Wyatt, if you would, show them Stu, the hippie counselor. Have some laughs with this. Me and Victoria Jackson and her husband, Paul. Do it.
It's all right. Just hold on to that whisper. Let it hang there. Do you see it? Do you see it? Paul, that's the whisper. That's the whisper of a vine that's begging you for fertilizer. You have got to find a spiritual dung, some sort of supernatural feces that you can plant into that vine and reinvigorate that vine so it too can continue to live and find life-giving attributes to the birds, the worms, and the wolverines. And so, Paul, tell me, are you working still? Are you still providing for the family?
Still providing for the family.
Okay. What do you
Retired,
do?
not working
You're
anymore.
retired? All
Yes.
right, all right. What did you do?
I was a police officer for many years.
Now, during that time, did you ever run across, I don't know, some dark energy? Was there ever a time perhaps you'd be around people that were maybe not making good decisions?
Only when I came home.
I see.
That's a joke.
Okay, okay, all right. So you experienced perhaps some difficulties in your business that could have caused some trauma that you could have brought home to the vine, and the vine began to shrivel. Vine, does that make any sense to you at all?
Yes.
Yes. Did you shrivel?
Yes.
And what brought you back?
I'm not back yet.
So you're still shriveled.
I'm a dead vine.
You're dead. No.
Why are we whispering?
It's all right. Just hold on to that whisper. Let it hang there. Do you see it? Do you see it? Paul, that's the whisper. That's the whisper of a vine that's begging you for fertilizer. You have got to find a spiritual dung, some sort of supernatural feces that you can plant into that vine and reinvigorate that vine so it too can continue to live and find life-giving attributes to the birds, the worms, and the wolverines.
You're awesome.
I'm not awesome. I'm just a tool. I'm just a tool.
Fertilizer.
He's brilliant.
But so that is something that has given you the robust life that you long for. Your poetry and your music.
No, that's just to express my sadness.
I see. And are you sad often?
Yes.
I see. I don't sense sadness today. Not now. I sense that you've found the inner happiness that's been waiting to grow, but just didn't have enough dung.
I need more dung.
Paul, can you be her dung?
We can do more dung.
Okay.
We can do dung.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, that's beautiful. He's giving you a pile of dung. What can you give him?
What can I give him?
What can emerge from this dung that he can hold on to and know that you are his life partner? Can you write a poem for him right now? No, right now. Can you give him a poem? Go ahead.
Like make up a new one?
Yes. But let it come from the dung.
The dung he's pouring on
The
me?
dung that he has poured on you should release this poem. Begin.
I think you want to be free so you can flirt with 20-year-olds in bikinis at the Keys.
Make it rhyme. You'll find that I think it will reach a deeper chord. Remember, you're bursting forth from dung.
Speak a poem?
Speak a poem.
Serenity now.
Tell him what you've been waiting to tell him for 24 years buried in dung.
I think she wrote a song about it already.
What's it called?
I hate you.
Oh yeah, I wrote it already.
That's beautiful.
Can I get my ukulele?
I wish you wouldn't. I think that for your soul, it's got the strings it needs.
Because sometimes I fantasize we never met, we never got together, never got reconnected, and although I tell my friends that this will never work and that I despise you and that you're a jerk, I would never say I hate you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's powerful and yet completely empty.
Empty?
It's gigantic in a midget sort of way. It was beautiful in its patheticism.
Patheticism?
Yes, and that's good.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that. You know, some people said we haven't seen you for a while. Well, you see, I was up in a cave meditating to think how best to reach my audience. Come to find out, they've got this new thing called social network of, like, internet. I don't know. Probably a fad, but I'm thinking if that's what you all need, simplistic little buttons to push to find things, I'll jump in. So for those of you who maybe struggled with your relationships, you weren't sure if it's something that you can find a way out, there's always God, and then, of course, there's always Stu, the marriage counselor. Folks, it is Valentine's Day. It's a special time. I need to go find my wife and let her know that I also am thinking of her today, periodically, after she feeds me, of course. Thinking of my son, my daughter, my family, my friends, and just the old concept that there's something here that needs to be talked about. There's so much in America that's happened, so much difficulty, so much destruction, so much precariousness that makes us wonder, can we go forward? Can we survive this deep destruction of our foundations? Well, I don't know. None of us do. You pray, you fight, and you don't give up until you have no options. So I want to say to you guys, thank you for showing up every Monday. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Stine Has Issues. I hope it's helping you always to think deeper, to have something you can use as a tool to get out into the marketplace and actually use it to defend your faith, your family, your customs, your foundations, and see what we can do. I want to start, hopefully maybe next week we'll get a guest on, and again, we'll just continue to grow this organically, one step at a time, just like it started a year and a half ago with COVID. So something came out of this that hopefully has some value. And as long as Facebook allows me on and YouTube, we'll continue to try to speak truth of Stine Has Issues in God's comedy with comedy, Christianity, conservatism, and a cacophony of clarity. God bless you. Have a wonderful Valentine's. Also, let me know if you want the book or if you just want to donate. We'll give you a link. We'll see you next week, Wyatt. We're going to have a special time next week. Can't wait to be there. In the meantime, I got a wife I have to convince it was worth marrying me. God bless you.